Hello everyone, my name is Varsha and welcome to Study with Varsha. So, in the last week, I have told you if any one of you are in the different sector, for example, in the support, teacher, or any other department, and you want to become a DevOps engineer, then you are in a right place. And I have teach what the things you have to follow. So, in that list only, I have told you we need to know at least one cloud. So, for the AWS, if you'll go and see my playlist, so for the AWS almost 25 to 30 videos I have uploaded, and that is more than enough just to start. So I thought, why not to start with Azure as well? Okay, and and I am not only here teaching about Azure. Instead, if you will follow this series, you will be ready to prepare for the AZ-104 courses, which if you want to take this course and if you want to give the exam, if you will follow the steps whatever I'm going to explain you, then there is 100%, or I can say 99.99% chances is there that you are going to clear this exam, that is AZ-104 Azure courses, that is for Azure administrator courses. So I have given you some, like I had done some research and then I just came in a conclusion and I have written some notes. I have PDF as well. If you want PDF, then do comment in the comment box. I will share in my Telegram channel and from there you can get it. But for now, just let's start. Okay. So the first thing is that if you guys are okay with the font, or you want me to increase the font size. Okay, is it okay for you guys? See, if it is not visible, you can told me, say me, I'll try to increase the font. I hope it's visible. Yeah, so yeah, that is the master notes I have written. Like I have used some, literally some of the AI, and you can say Gemini or Copilot, and then I have made. Yeah, of course, I have the uh, subscription. So first one is master one day notes one. Okay. Now there is two module today I'm going to cover. First is identity and Microsoft Entra ID. This is the first module. Identity and Microsoft Entra ID. The second module is what is Azure subscription, what is resource group, what is RBAC, ARM, and Azure policy. So, mainly today I'm going to cover these topics, and yes, this video will be long. So, stay hydrated. If you want to drink some, just bring some water near you, and if you want to write some sticky notes, you can have a notebook in your hand. Otherwise, don't worry, I'm going to share all of this thing in the Telegram channel, and from there you can get it. Okay, now the course, after studying, you are going to be like certified for this one. This I am only preparing, so I just written have my name, but a sake of security I can say. Okay, and yeah, now what is the overview? Let us understand the overview. Okay, so here it has been written that, and for sure I'll tell you like whatever the topics I'm going to cover. So that two module I'm going to cover. So AZ-104 is the certification exam for Microsoft Azure Administrator Associate. So if you are planning to get this certification, this course is for you. And yes, there is no prerequisite that you have to be a prior knowledge. If you have prior knowledge, that's good. If you don't have, it's not like you have to, start with the normal solution and then only you can come to the administrator associate. It's not like that, because here I'm going to cover everything from the scratch, and I will explain the things in a very deep way, I can say, so that if someone have don't know anything, they also can understand. The exams check whether administrator can implement, manage, secure, and monitor the maintain Azure resources. So this is the only thing, but don't worry, I'll explain each and everything. So the weightage for this exam will be what here why I'm explaining, so that I if you are planning to get certificate in Azure, so that you can get it, and that is in the free. So first thing is that manage Azure identities and governance. From here, like Azure identity and governance, from here it will come 20 to 25% of questions will come. Implement and manage store, in this topic 15 to 20%. Deploy and manage Azure resources, that will come up to 20 to 25%. Implement manage virtual networking, 15 to 20%. And monitor and maintain Azure is 10 to 15%. Now, I don't think that I'm just reading and I'll not explain why, because I have tried to write all the things, so that if next time you just want to go through the notes, you can go. And don't worry, I'll explain. So just come with me, and whatever I'm saying, I'm just follow that. Okay. The passing score is minimum 700 from 1000. Above, or like, it really doesn't matter whatever the percentage you are, like how many percentage you have scored. The minimum is 700. If you will score, then you get a certificate. Okay. Now, today the day is one. What I'm going to cover today is, what is identity? What do you understand by identity? What is Microsoft Intra ID? And I'll cover, like, this is, don't go with this Microsoft Entra ID. This is a, miss, like, you can say the marketing strategy, but I'll come there later. Just understand identity, what is Entra ID, what is users and groups, what is RBAC, what is PIM, Azure subscription, manage groups, resource groups, Azure resource manager, Azure policy, and I will give you some of the link. From there you can, get the lab access as well, and that will be for the 4 days. Yeah, you heard it right. So that also you will get from here. Now, uh 1 second. Yeah, so here I'm explaining that it is the starting point, not the Azure and learning, or you can for like just leave it. Okay. Now the thing is the pattern. So first, introduction, lab, and afternoon Henson, and this is my plan, that how I am going to cover. But the thing is, why identity is important. So before any user or application can access Azure must know identity. Means, for example, this is your house. Okay. And it is in some of the society. The gate is here. So, what do you mean by identity? For example, you have ordered pizza and the delivery boy came here. Here, one of the guard is there, and he is asking in which flat, like multiple houses is there in your society. So, the guard will ask where you want to go. Then the delivery person will tell, for example, I have to go 306. Then this guard will ask, okay, with whom name the order is. For example, the delivery person will say Varsha. So now first he is asking who, like, where you have to go to. So this is a some kind of information or identity, because he is wearing a suit, like for example Zepto or Zomato. Then this person get to know, okay, he is a delivery guy. So the for here the person, for this person there is only one identity, that is he is a Zepto delivery person or Zomato delivery person. Okay, so like that identity is important, so that here when he is trying to enter the society, the security guard know he is a delivery person. In the same way, whenever you are trying to log into the Azure, that Azure should know who is trying to access. That's why identity is required. How is how identity verified? Now he verified that, okay, I am going to 306 and the customer name is Varsha. I am going to deliver a pizza. So he had given the information. Now Azure also want to understand like how it is going to verify it, that this person is the right person. Now what permission does that identity have? Like here he is going to just deliver the pizza, but here if he is entering to Azure, what permission, like for what thing he have permission to, uh, what the permission he is carrying? For example, he have a read access, or he have a write as well, or he have a execute as well. So or he have only read. So, like that kind of permission you have to declare first. So, that's why identity came into the picture. Now, which resources can that identify access? Now, for example, here this delivery person is only allowed to come to the Varsha house, not to the, for example, here Ram house. This is a Sita house. So, that delivery person is not allowed to enter in their house. They are allowed to enter only here. So, in the same way, when someone is trying to access, now they have to declare before which resource. For example, they are allowed to access only database, or they are some storage, or we can say some where they are allowed to get access. So that's why identity is very important in Azure. I hope you understand, and don't go with this diagram. I just did like some random, no worries. Okay, so yeah. Now, this is why identity is the foundation of Azure administration. I hope you understand. If you have any questions, just comment in the comment box and you will get the answer. Now, there are some traditional on-premises model was there. What was that model? That, for example, this is like somewhere I had studied and like that I am writing, so just leave it. So in a traditional company environment, resources are inside an internal network, and that is called intranet. So for example some companies there, take as a CCS. This is a company, and this is a CCS company, or XYZ company, or XYZ company. ठीक है? Now, previously, what they used to do, they used to keep their data inside their company, inside their company, and that they used to call as on premises, on prem data, or on prem data. So, and that you can say as a intranet. What it is? Intranet. Okay. Now, example like users, computers, printers, server, database, application. So, all of this is what? All of this is intranet. This is what? Intranet. Okay. So, this is on prem. It means like some, if like one person is there, he is also intranet. Some computers is there, that are intranets. Here some printer is there, that is intranet. Databases is there, this is database. This is also a intranet and applications are running. Now there are some of the process what, what they used to follow. For example, one user is there, inside user computer will be their printer server. So the main identity system in this environment is Active Directory domain service. Now what is Active Directory domain services? And that we also called as ADDS. What? ADDS, like Active Directory Domain Services. What is Active Directory Domain Services? Friends, I have a PDF as well. I think that you will get more. I will share this as well. So here I have like written what is I'm going to cover. So this is a Microsoft Azure Administrator Exam Validation Skills. So that I have covered. This I'll already. And then where I first. Now, identity form on premises AD to cloud identity. Why I am taking this? For example, Fabricum internet is there. Here users is there, computer is there, printer is there, server is there, application, database inside company network. So all this is in the inside company network. Now, for example, I think I didn't log in with, so I don't have permission to write. Okay, no worries. Okay, so there will be ADDS. Okay, so here Active Directory Domain Services stores identity and provides authentication and authorization. So that will be provided by whom? ADDS, and then it will go to the cloud apps like Team, ServiceNow, Dropbox, SaaS, on cloud apps, internet native identity. So it will go from on-prem to ADDS, and with the help of ADDS, it will go to the cloud. The problem exposing here, the problem here we are exposing is that Intra ID become the cloud identity providers. Cloud app trust Intra ID instead of directly trusting Internet ID. Now, who are you? Who can access this? So, all this like authentication means who are you? Okay, and the system verify identity. Authorization means what you can access. And directory or identity database means where our identities is stored, like users, computer, groups, devices, and all. There was some traditional on-premises model. So in that, like a computer database and application internet, so Active Directory domain core identity. So leave it, that you don't have to go. Why cloud identity was needed? So organization moved towards SaaS, like software as a service application, internet based services, and cloud hosted applications such as Microsoft Team, Dropbox. So this is the some things I'll come later there. As of now, I'll go to here. Now, what Active Directory does? We understand, correct? That here on prem is there. Okay, on prem is there. Now it will go to ADDS, and after that it will go to the cloud. Okay, got it. Now what it does, what this ADDS does? So it works mainly as first as identity database. Okay, What do you mean by identity database? So it will store here. I already have written. So you no need to, I no need to write. Identity database means it will store some like who is the user, like RAM, SAM, computer, device groups. Example like user is Varsha Singh, device means laptop, group is IT admin. So that kind of information it will work. First it will take ADDS, because as we have discussed, it needs some identity when you are trying to log into the Azure. So this ADDS used to do all these things. So first thing, it will take the identity database. In that it will take the information like users computer. So what is that? Now second thing will come into the picture, this authentication, that I have already like explained who the user is. So example, username plus password or some key values. So system verifies that identity. Okay. For example, when I am trying to log into my laptop or mobile, we used to keep give some password, correct? So in the same name, that's why mobile understand. Okay, this is the person. So here you have to give username and password. Then system will verify the identity. Okay, this is the correct person only who is trying to log in, and then login will be allowed or denied. For example, if I have given some wrong password, then it will understand. Okay, Versa is not trying to log in, someone is doing malpractices, so that in that case it will get to deny. Okay, allow or deny. So this is the second thing will come into the picture, that is authentication system. Okay, so first thing was identity database. Let me write here. Okay, first, second is authentication system, that we understand. Now the third is that authentication means who are you. This was authentication. Now authentication, who are you. Now come into the picture, that is authorization. Third is authorization. So authorization will decide what the authentication can access. For example, what size the authentication. So authorization will give you like, okay, see here, Versa is allowed for the email, Teams and SharePoint. And if I'm going to say some X payroll database, in that case it will deny it, because Versa doesn't have access for that. Okay. Now simple meaning authorization, what you can access. Okay, so I hope you understand this thing. Now authorization versus authentication. So if you want to take a screenshot, you can take, because no one will explain in this simple way. Yeah. Now, some exam tip. If the question will be asked, which process verifies the identity of a user? Which process verify the identity of a user? The answer will be authentication. Which process verifies the authentication? If the question asks, what process determine what the users can access? In that scenario, it will be the authentication. Now, the seventh thing is why cloud identity was needed. First, I have explained identity is needed. Now, the question came in our mind, why it is needed? Because traditionally AD, like Azure database, was designed mainly for internal network. I have told you previously, all the company have their own on-prem databases. Okay, on-prem databases previously company has. Now, but organization started using internet based like software as a service application such as Microsoft Teams, Microsoft 365, ServiceNow, Dropbox, Salesforce, cloud hosted business apps. So previously it was not needed because all the things was internal. Now when we are using something cloud based like software as a service, means we are just have to use it. In such cases, authentication or we can say identity is our necessity. It's not like we have option, it's our necessity. So the problem was on-prem AD was not designed to expose directly to the internet. So previously when on-prem AD was there, that design was in not a sense that we can expose it to the internet. That was the problem. Because exposing internet internal AD directly to the internet waste apps will be risky. For example, you have posted directly to the internet, some hackers will come and they will hack all of your website. So what's the use? And some of the, you know, uh, precious or confidential data will be there. For example, if you are in a banking domain and some clients user name, password, everything will be there. So in that scenario, if someone get the password, they can get all the money. So we can't do, because it was not designed in such a way. So Microsoft needed a cloud native identity format, because it is needed, it is our necessity. Okay, so that platform they called as a Microsoft Entra ID, formerly called Azure Active Directory or Azure AD. Now the question is, why we are saying Microsoft Entra ID or Azure AD? So it is nothing like something Microsoft, it is just for their, you can say, in the what we can say, just for fame, you can say they have given the name. But now Azure AD, that is the only correct, you can take it. That is also correct, but this one only widely we use, and that makes some sense. Yeah, now Microsoft Entra ID or Azure DD, that formerly called Azure AD, and Microsoft Entra ID. Microsoft Entra ID is a Microsoft cloud identity and access management services. Cloud identity and access management services. What it will provide? Cloud identity, first we understand what it is, why it is required. Now we understand formally it is called Azure AD, Microsoft Entra ID. And cloud identity and access management services, what it will provide, let's understand. First thing, it will provide user sign in permission will be there, application sign in will be there, authentication, authorization, identity management, access control, like we can control who the user can access whatever the website we can give, that website only can access. Now integration with the Azure or Microsoft 365. In a simple way, if you want to understand, so Microsoft Entra ID is Microsoft Cloud Identity Platform. Okay. So up to now, if you have any doubt, just you can comment in the comment box. And hope I'm not going too fast. I know I am, but in just 4 classes we have to cover all the things in the which we are going to come in the AZ-104 exam. That's why I'll be little bit fast, but no worries. If you have any doubt, just comment in the comment box, or you can text me in the Telegram. I'll be there to help you guys. Now, why Azure AD was renamed to Microsoft Entra ID? Yeah, that question is very common. See, I hope this question already came into your mind. Azure AD or Microsoft Entra ID. Both are same. So why it is renamed? Firstly, it was Azure AD. Why it was renamed to Microsoft Entra ID? It is because the name Azure Active Directory was confusing. Yes, Active Directory means it was really confusing, because we thought, okay, Active Directory means the present directory only, but it is nothing like that. It was like intra identity directly, like intra ID identity. So why it was just a sake of making confusion. That's why just after some time that Microsoft renamed it to Microsoft Entra ID. Azure renamed it. Before it was Azure AD. But now we don't you don't go with Azure AD and all. Now that the problem with Azure that it was misleading because Intra ID is not only for Azure. It can be also used by Microsoft 365, Teams, SharePoint, Exchange Online, and Software as a Service application as well. But when we used to call the name Azure AD, it seems like it is going to use only in the Azure. That's why Microsoft later it changed it to the Microsoft Entra ID. So this was the reason. So you can use Intra ID without directly managing Azure resources. So this is the answer. Now, problem with Active Directory is the word Active Directory was also misleading because Microsoft Entra ID is not for the same ADDS. It is not for the same ADDS. It is Active Directory Domain Services or Microsoft Entra ID. It is for on-premises cloud for both. Requires server domain control and SaaS Microsoft management. Used mainly inside company network and used for cloud and internet based identity. Traditional directory and cloud identity provider. Customer managed infrastructure, Microsoft managed infrastructure. So Active Directory domain service that is for on premises and this is for Microsoft ID. So Microsoft Entra ID is not cloud hosted Active Directory. Okay. So that's what is was confusing. So now you can take the difference like Active Directory domain services and like ADDS and Microsoft Entra ID. So this is the difference. If you want to take the screenshot, you can take it. Okay, moving to the next point. Intra ID as a software as a service. Intra ID. So Microsoft Intra ID software as a service identity platform. This means what it means. Software as a service. So software as a service means no domain control server to manage. No domain control server to manage. No infrastructure to patch. Microsoft maintain the service. Tenant is created, maintained in Microsoft Cloud. In a simple way, if you're talking a plain English, if for example a small company is there, okay, they don't want thousands of people to create their infrastructure, to maintain their infrastructure, and to uh, control the domain, create the tenant and cloud database. They just want a service and they can use it. For example, we have a mobile, we are not maintaining, we are just using. So in the company also something is there, so that's why they just directly can use it, and that is nothing but software as a service. So there they do not need to manage the control infrastructure, and no need to do, all will be managed from where Microsoft only will manage, and that is nothing but Intra ID as a software as a service. Okay, 1 minute. What is tenant? 1 second, I'll come back. Yeah. So where we are. What is tenant? When Intra ID is created, Microsoft create a tenant. So it is nothing like you have to create. When Microsoft will create Intra ID, okay, so it will create a tenant. Definition means tenant means dedicated instance for Microsoft Intra ID. This Intra ID have a dedicated tenant. If we are going to create another Intra ID, it will have a dedicated tenant. Okay. So a tenant is the identity boundary of an organization. What it will contain, let me explain. Here only it is there, no? So I don't think it's needed to write again. It will contain users, means for example Varsha is there, user. Groups, for example I'm admin of DevOps. Devices, a laptop or some Linux machine. Applications, whatever the applications is there. Service principal, roles is there, for example read, write, execute, all I need, and some policies is there. Later we'll discuss all this thing, what is roles, we'll discuss in a detail what is role, what do we mean by policies, all we will explain. What is users, what is group, what is device, everything we are going to discuss in a detailed way. So if you are not understanding, just okay, just try to figure it out, because nothing is waste, guys. Now, simple example of, for example, if TCS is there, Stonix is there, Microsoft is there, if any company has a Microsoft cloud environment and that TCS company have a tenant that contain the organization users, groups, app and identity setting. It means if TCS is a company has a Microsoft cloud environment, this is a cloud environment. If TCS have this, then this TCS have a tenant, and that tenant will contain all the information of users, groups and apps, identity setting. So if TCS is in linked with the cloud, then this tenant is automatically linked with the cloud because these have all this information. So this is a simple meaning. Now, now, how can this will connect to the cloud, or how, why this tenant? No, leave it. This point, as of now, don't understand. Don't try to go in that. Now, TCS and this company and this tenant, how they are sharing all this data, that is called trust relationship. That is called trust relationship. So over a time, tenant build trust with Azure. After some time, it will Azure, Microsoft 365, software line of business application and external organization. So the flow chart is here. User is there. For example, this is the Varsha. Okay, Varsha is user. Varsha have Microsoft Entra ID tenant, and it has a trusted application is Azure, Microsoft Teams, ServiceNow and other. So the tenant become the organizational central identity authority. Tenant will become the organizational central identity authority. Now, identity types in intra identity, because some of the identity types will be there. So identity into two main types: user identity, and first is user identities and workload identities. Don't go with my writings, guys. That's why I already have written. But I feel very good and comfortable while writing with my own. That's why I'm writing, and my writing is very worst. I know. Okay, so what is user identity? It means the user is representing human people, human. Okay, for example, employee, contractor, vendor, partner. This will be represented by users identity management. Now, workload identities, these represent application and service. This is people or human. This is application and people. जैसे कि service principal, managed identities, and application identities. So the simple difference, what here it is concluding, the simple difference is it is the difference. Okay, identity type, that will be user identified. If what it is represent, that it is in a human. Example, employee account. Identity type, work like or workload identity. What it is represent, apps and services. Example, Terraform service principle. So I hope you understand the types of, you know, identity. Intra ID, there are two types of intra ID application, and these both are intra ID. Now, three types of user account. User account we have understand, that is in the human form. That also have three types. Okay, so let me go here only. Three types. What is that types? What is that types? And it's important. Cloud native user. First type is cloud native user. Second one is external user, user account types. And third one is guest user. Now we are going discussing detailed way about users. So just focus here. The first is cloud native user. What it mean cloud native users means? One second guys. Or I have other option. It's been 1 hour, like 42 minutes of video. So what I am thinking, we will do in another video so that you people will have get a time to revise. So uh, tomorrow I'll upload a video that will be the Monday 20. Even though I was not, but I am thinking this video is going too long, so that's why it will be good. I'll cover the same topic in the next part. This is a part 1 and part 2, and I'll explain. See, all the thing I already have, I have written. So no worries, everything is there. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll cover, and like today only I will make and I'll upload. So thank you for watching Study with Varsha. Have a great day, guys, and like making you sure that if you are going to follow this, you will get a certification of AZ-104. So once again, have a nice day. Thank you for watching Study with Varsha.